All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another installment of No Place Like Homaha. We have with us today a special guest, Nathan Martin. Nathan, do you want to give kind of a brief introduction of yourself and kind of your position that you have currently?
Yeah, my name's Nathan Martin. I'm the general manager of the Kokomo Jackrabbits. Been with the company since '06 as their director of corporate sponsorships, and then recently got promoted August or April 1st of last year.
Awesome. How did you kind of start out getting into that position? Like starting out in like 2006, you said. So
Yeah, so basically, I went to Indiana State University, graduated with a sports marketing and management degree. Kind of moved home, didn't know what to do. Then my wife and I we moved to Louisville, Kentucky for about 4 years for her job, kind of doing what she wanted to do. Um, and then all this, 2 in the morning, I was on Indeed, and we were looking to kind of get out of Louisville and apply for the job. We moved back here October of 17, or yeah, October 16, and then kind of met with the uppers there in Lafayette, and then kind of accepted the job and kind of been riding this industry for a while since.
awesome.
So Josh and Nick, I talked to Nathan a little bit outside of this, and it's pretty cool. He told me, correct me if I'm wrong here, Nathan.
Yeah.
But at one point, you were essentially the GM for two teams, and you were traveling back and forth.
Yeah. So director of corporate sponsorships for two teams. So the company I work for is Rock Ventures. They're based out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they have quite of other adventures as well. They own the Milwaukee Milkmen, kind of some other areas in that field too. So I took over 2016. I started in Lafayette. It was going into their second year. Sponsorships was like 70,000, give or take. So I had the off season to kind of prepare for the next season, and I finalized that with about 172 at the end of the season as far as sponsorship goes. And in that same year, my first year, the guy that was in Kokomo, he put his 2 weeks in probably a week before the actual Jackrabbit season and the Aviator season, because we were in the Prospect League at that time. So I kind of took over both markets. I mean, I'm from Kokomo, so Lafayette's about a 45-minute drive. So kind of when the schedule worked out, it's either Kokomo was playing in Lafayette or Lafayette was playing in Kokomo. Their off days it was basically 7 days a week. I was either in Lafayette or here in Kokomo at the games. It was probably over, I would say about 175 partners with both companies. My wife hated me that year. and it's continued to hate it ever since. So, but yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, I love the grind of it. It's, I love the sales aspect of it. I love the teams that you meet. Different guys, coaches, interns, staff. I mean, I love it. I mean, I love it all.
That's dope. That's so cool.
What would you say, like, the atmosphere is like being in that kind of general manager position? Like you talked about how you like building those, relationship with people, you love being around, your interns, all that kind of stuff. How would you list it off? Like going the coaches you meet, the players you meet, the fans, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So Kokomo, like as far as the fans, Kokomo's a little different. I mean, it's a bigger city. I'll say like 75,000 in the Howard County area. But it's got a hometown and really small, tight knit feel to it. They're all about supporting local. So as far as fans, I mean, they love baseball, they love sports. It doesn't matter what kind of logo you put on a piece of paper or what it is. I mean, if it's affiliated or if it's collegiate, I mean, I don't think they don't care too much. I mean, there's some people out there that are like, oh, the Northwoods League is amazing. It's a bigger step. Some of them are like, they like the rivalry of Lafayette or Terre Haute, or it's just people really don't care too much about that side of things. As far as the talent level, I mean, you can definitely see the talent from, and not disrespecting anybody that plays whatever league they're in, because they're doing more than what I did when I played baseball. So um, I think the talent from the prospect league to the Northwoods League, you can definitely see that change regarding talent, and then the team names and schools that are coming to Kokomo, Indiana to play baseball and kind of develop their craft.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So kind of going along with that, have you been able to kind of like see growth from players that go through your organization, but also like on their college level positions? So like going from sitting in Kokomo, and then are you still in contact with those guys as they go off to college? Or
I mean, I'm not personally talking too much to them. I'm not sliding in their DMs or whatever, but I do follow them. Try and keep up with, kind of see what they're doing. We had a guy, our middle infield last year. Their names will come to me, but one of them was from Hawaii, and then the other one's from, I can't remember what other school, but they both, while they were here, they both went to a campus visit at Austin P, and they both signed with Austin P. So they're starting, middle infield for Austin P which is cool. And there's some players from 2021 that actually got drafted. We had a guy in 2019, Denzel Clark. He was drafted by the A's, and he's probably the highest. He played in if you guys watched the Futures game during the All-Star game last year. So I think he was the starting right fielder during that.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
He played for the A's. He's from California. And then out of our 2021 team, we had 5 guys get drafted last year. Evan Elliott went to the Texans. We had Chase Mydroff. He went to the Red Sox. Chris Santiago went to, I want to say, the Mets. And then Jacob Marcy went to the Padres, and Adam Crampton went to the Orioles. And Crampton was from Stanford. Chase Mydroff was from San Diego. So there's a lot of good schools.
Dear God. You
got a
lot of action there.
Yeah, just kind of building off that too. Kind of talked about you grew up around that area too. So what's it like if you do get a chance to speak to some people that are like, from really far away? You talked about some guys from Hawaii, San Diego, all those kind of places. What's it like kind of like introducing them to the town if you get a chance to do that?
Yeah, I think I put that a lot on some coaches. I think our host families help out with that too. All of our guys stay with host families here in town. Some take, we had 35 players last year, and I think we only had 15 host families. So you can do the math. I mean, each family had at least 2 to 3 guys. We had one guy that took 4 guys.
Damn.
Yeah. So I think they get a good feel of what Kokomo is about when they're staying with these families. A lot of the families are some sponsors, partners of mine that house. They're season ticket holders. They're just fans of the game and the love of baseball. Some of them have younger kids, and they have that older role model that you can go out there and play catch, or do something around the house when they're there, I guess. But I think they get a feel of what Kokomo is really like with mostly the host families, the accommodations that we have here with them. We feed them pre-game meals, post-game meals. I mean, we do their laundry. I mean, it's, you think they're on cloud 9, I think, when they're here. And there's a lot of stuff to do. I mean, it's not just some random town in the middle of nowhere there's nothing to go on besides a traffic light and an Applebee's maybe, but there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of stuff to do here.
Awesome.
Traffic light and Applebee's.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds like my kind of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
No.
Nick's just out here. He's like, I love being in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, because like
the heck?
I was gonna say, because like I mentioned this in the last podcast. So I was up in Bismarck during the COVID year when everything was kind of going down. I mean, it is really fun to be with a host family and just kind of enjoy that atmosphere of the place that you're at.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's definitely different. Like I looked at doing a couple of internships with a couple of Northwoods teams, and I was on an interview with a guy from the Duluth Huskies, and just how they were talking about their atmosphere and everything. Like the Northwoods is truly a different. It's just kind of like a different caliber of just. I would say fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Mikey,
Mikey just put in the chat. He goes subtle flex here.
Yeah.
Relatable, man.
I was just sitting there thinking like, oh, this guy's like, yeah, casually. When I used to play. Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
Yeah.
No,
Fingers.
but I recently met the Duluth guy last year at the league meeting, and he's a character. He's a good guy. Was it Greg?
Yeah, it was, because I was on the phone with him, and he was very. I would say probably the word to use. He's very active and he's very animated and super fun guy to talk to. I mean, I think we talked probably like for another 45 minutes after the whole interview even started, but because I had a buddy from college that actually did the broadcasting job for them.
Oh, okay.
A year prior, so I reached out to him and asked if he could get me in their contacts. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I met him at the fall meetings, and that was my first time ever being in like the Northwoods League meeting, and I felt like Steven Glansberg just sitting at a table by myself. He kind of like he was there with like open arms and talked to me, and so we got a good friendship, and I talked to him casually, every once in a while if I have questions or he has questions.
Yeah.
Love that. So kind of going back now to the COVID season. So I know that was a big kind of thing that swept across everything shut down, all this kind of stuff. How were you as a GM able to kind of adapt to that situation, both that year that it happened, as well as, excuse me, the years following, kind of like, especially right after it was just still crazy.
Yeah. So kind of adapted to that. So I was still doing corporate sponsorships. Kind of COVID happened, but March, they pretty much shut everything down. So I was furloughed from March until June 15th. We had some people get laid off just due to COVID. So on the 15th of June, I came back into the office. We weren't going to play just because it didn't make sense for us to either spend the money to send a team up in Wisconsin, or I think it was like North Dakota or something. They had a pod. It just didn't make any sense for us. So what I just came back in. I called all the sponsors, ticket holders, anybody that had money tied to the organization, and kind of went through that list and asked if they wanted a refund. If they wanted a refund, I refund them their money back. If they wanted to roll their financial commitment over till 2021. Same thing with sponsors as well. A lot of the sponsors were understandable. A lot of them left the money in the pot because they understood that we still had bills that needed to get paid and things like that. So I would say, maybe 2 or 3 of the sponsors wanted a refund, and they were in financial issues as well, just with it being not so much of a corporation, but more of a local thing. So refunded them, but it was as far as the players. They went into a draft pool. Kind of similar situation what happened in 2021 with Thunder Bay, just with the borders not being opened. They thought they were going to play. They ended up didn't play in. So that's how we actually got Evan Elliott, was out of the draft. And we were kind of in the middle of the pack last in 2019. We weren't that good. So we were able to get Evan Elliott. And he was a pitcher, and obviously he's in the Texas organization. So that's kind of how it was handled. It was just kind of a weird blur, for everybody, I think.
So I think it was, I don't know if it was it might have been Hobbs that mentioned that the Northwoods League was then put on ESPN because like that was the only form of sports that was going on during that time. Since then, like, did ESPN stick with you guys last year? Are they with you again this year? Like, what's the growth been from that?
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. So last year was kind of a test thing. We had ESPN Plus picked us up, the Northwoods League, with, not trying to toot our own horn, but we do have a good like production team up there. We do have a really nice stadium. It's turf. It's relatively new. That was built in 2015. So I guess the visual and of everything looks ESPN plus ish. So last year we had 13 games that were on ESPN plus. This year we're going to be back on ESPN plus with probably some more games, and there's also been talks of ESPNU as well. So
solid.
Yeah, so it's kind of getting bigger and bigger. So we're all, DraftKings will be on there as well.
Nice.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Nothing, if you ever bored, just want to sweat out a money line or a over under,
Get your bets put out on Northwoods. That's honestly kind of bomb.
Yeah, it was great. We had to sign the integrity paperwork last year. So like everyone in the front office, even the interns, it was kind of like introduction. So guys come in or fans come in. We have an intern that's working our concessions booth or guest relations booth, and you can't really answer any questions anymore if a fan has a question on who's the starting pitcher or is this guy hurt, or you can't answer those questions anymore due to the integrity laws that are within sports.
Damn.
In sports, it's kind of stressful. So you just kind of say, hey, I can't give you that answer, and they'll look at you with a face, and you just tell them like, hey, you can bet on these games now, and it's I'm not trying to go to jail for somebody being hurt. That's not. I'm good.
Dang,
that's impressive.
It is impressive. Now stop talking because I have a question. Does the NIL deals have anything to do with you guys in the summer, or is that something that you can be involved in, or?
I'd love to get an NIL deal. 100%. No, I don't. I asked that question in the meetings last year. So the guys can have an NIL deal with their school. They can do that, the name, image, likeness for their school. But when they come to Northwoods League, we have deals with Rawlings. They're a huge sponsor with the Northwoods League. So you can't have little Timmy coming out in a Nike sweatshirt and all this stuff. So it can't be. They can't. I guess how do I phrase this? Like they can't promote or wear their NIL deal on like a post game conference, or they can't use it for their own recognition, I guess. But we do have 3 guys, I think, this year that do have NIL deals. And so they'll just have to be careful. I think one of them's like a shade company. So they can wear sunglasses. It's not that big of a deal, but I think when it gets into, if you get a big guy that's got Nike or Adidas or something like that, then it's one of those things where you're like, hey, you can't wear that.
Yeah. So then I guess even off of that, who do you have? And if you can't, say this stuff, that's obviously okay. But like, who do you have coming in this year that would be potentially a huge name, or like that who you're really excited for?
I know Hobbs. So
yeah.
I told him, like, look, last year was a really rough year. A, it was a learning curve for me. B, we didn't have how do I phrase this? We didn't have the guy, I guess, as a coach.
You didn't have a competent manager. Yeah, we can say it for you.
Mikey's here to stir the pot.
We won't let you get in trouble. We'll just get in trouble for you.
No, they can't find me.
Yeah, there's some issues from previous things, and the team was great. It's just they didn't really they didn't gel together. I guess they didn't come together due to a couple things. But overall, it was a great team. They had fun. We won literally a couple games. But this year, I don't. My thing is I don't know. I mean, I know that the Big Ten and the SEC, like that stuff, like that'd be great, but I don't really care about it. But when these guys are sending me, NAI or they're D3 or D2 or D1, and I've never heard of the school before, like I don't want to be the person that picks. So I put that on Johnston, and the team that he put around him to bring in a good team. I don't want to win every game, but I want guys that are good. I love Hobbs over I've talked to him more this week than I have in previous months, but I feel like we found our guy for a while, and I'm confident on whoever he brings in. I gave that all to him, and Sonny, I know he was here too. Let him and there's another guy, Chris DeBoo.
Yeah, we don't. I don't know him. I don't know him. At least.
Yeah,
Love to have him on the pod.
Yeah,
he's coming in. He's like the pitching coach, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I got confidence in those three guys that they'll figure it out and we'll win some games and we'll have fun and.
Yeah. So then normally, like the GMs of each like respective team, they normally bring in the guys, or is that that's a coach's thing, or?
I think it's it can be a little bit of both. I don't know too much. I'm still fairly I've got, even though I've been here and I know the operation from, different side of things, I'm still kind of learning the GM stuff, every day, honestly.
Right.
I have a better grasp of what I need to do and get done now that I've been through it. So, I basically just put me and the guys in the office. There's just me and two other guys, and we put some like whiteboard paint on the walls in the office, and it just there's so much stuff on it, just ideas, things that we need to get done, and sales goals and numbers, and just to kind of get on it and get ahead of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of looking at your guys' schedule here because I got it pulled up. So obviously,
make sure you're not looking at the wrong year, Nick.
No, I'm looking.
Yeah, he has been known for misinformation. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, the schedule says 2023, so I have the right one pulled up, as far as I am aware. So, kind of looking at your guys' schedule here, obviously, you guys are going to play the team in your area, or kind of like your bracket pool for your slot.
Yep.
As you kind of go through the season, how does that replicate into like playoffs or anything like that, just to kind of give the person that's outside of the Northwoods League kind of looking in kind of an idea?
Yeah. So, I mean, really, you want to win the 120. You basically want to try and win 20 games as fast as possible, just to kind of set yourself up. So how the Northwoods League is, it does go over by, it goes by overall record at the end of the day, but it goes by halves. So from May 28th until July 4th, like that's your first half. If you win the first half, then you get an automatic playoff spot for winning the first half. And then same thing for the second half. Once July 4th, basically when July 5th hits till August 11th, it's basically 0-0. And you're basically playing another whole, everyone's at 0. You win that second half, you get an automatic bid into it. If you go, I want to say, whatever year it was, Traverse won like the first season, or the first half and the second half. So they kind of locked it all up. But for the second place, you got to win over by overall record. So it does matter. Overall record does matter, but you really want to get, you really want to win that first or that second half just to have an automatic bid. Ideally, first half would be better, and then you can kind of move the roster around a little bit and try and get some dudes in that are going to help make playoff push.
So then kind of along with that too, I mean, you said that you start in May, and obviously a lot of college rosters and pretty much almost every college roster is in May. So what are your first players coming in from that May to early July or like
Yeah,
I would say mid-June.
Yeah, I mean, it's TBD really. It depends on how far these guys go in their conference and with their school, and then how quick they can get here after, that conference tournament. Um, so we kind of depend on some temp guys. So we have an NAI school here in Kokomo. It's a branch off of IU. So it's basically NAI University of Kokomo. There's a baseball team here. We'll grab couple guys from there, just arms or bodies, just to help fill some spots until some guys get here. Or we'll sign guys at some other NAI or D3 levels that can come in here and play for 10 games until some other guys get in.
Very nice.
Yeah,
What is? Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go.
Ah, damn it!
Got him.
I just did that. I just ruined the flow.
No, you're good.
You stop shaking your head, Josh. I'll beat you. What does it's like obviously you guys have like a championship and stuff. Do you guys have like this huge trophy? Like one of the oh my god, what bowl game was it where they had the $2.5 million trophy?
Oh, no way.
I don't even know.
It was one of the playoff games. I can't remember one.
Was it the Rose Bowl?
I don't know. Whatever details. Do you guys get like this huge trophy or like what exactly is the?
So I know I saw the trophy at the league meeting in fall. They gave it to Kalamazoo. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's not a $1 million trophy. I mean, it's probably like.
Oh, what?
Oh, they're short step.
It's like a little duct tape trophy.
Yeah.
Here you go. And then everybody gets participation trophies.
Oh,
Stop
no.
it right
Mikey's
there.
actually a big advocate of participation trophies.
Stop. You zip
It
your
was
lip.
good. And I know, I'm pretty sure you get a ring as well.
Sweet.
I know in 2017, the Aviators won the Prospect League and I got one. So I'm assuming the Northwoods League would do the same thing. So.
Do you still, speaking of that, do you still keep in contact with any coaches or anything from the Aviators? From like the last couple of years, because the same year that the COVID season happened, I played with a coach who coached the Aviators. I think it was in 2021.
Brent McNeil.
No. Why can't I remember the name at the moment? I apologize for that.
This guy.
Sorry, I have some relatable information.
The only one guy I know is Brent McNeil, and I think he's at Purdue Fort Wayne right now as a pitching coach.
Okay.
What is this camera angle?
I don't even know.
I'm sorry,
Nick.
Well, it's a good thing that I have my other camera going because I'm trying to look it up on Instagram because I follow him on Instagram.
Well, don't give us that camera angle again.
I'm sorry.
That was unnecessary.
My
I'm trying to run a
apologies,
professional podcast, and Nick's ruining it. So
you're making us look bad.
So
sorry, Nathan.
No, back to like your question about is like, what do you do when players, aren't here? Also, there's kind of like a cool story back in 2019. So we had a third baseman from LSU that we signed, and they made a really good run in the World Series. I want to say like maybe Elite Eight, top six maybe. But once they got eliminated, he literally left the stadium, got his truck, drove to Kokomo, and then went into the locker room, got in his Jackrabbit uniform, and literally walked on to third base at our stadium. It was sweet. I mean, the guy, it was cool. And like that's kind of like dedication and drive that some of these guys have is, you go grind a season, World Series, get in a car. I don't know how far it is from here to Omaha, what, 10, 12 hours maybe?
Probably. I think I looked at it from here. It's like 9.
He's gonna look it. Mikey's gonna look it up.
I got you. Don't even fret. I'll give the accurate information. I'm like Nick.
No, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
I said from Iowa.
Gosh, we don't like Iowa.
Unbelievable.
8 hours. Then play another game.
9 hours.
9 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
From the best city, Nebraska, Nick.
I'm sorry, I moved. I had to.
No, you're not. Don't
So-
talk to me.
Going back, because I'm just gonna let these two do whatever. Going back to looking at like kind of people to bring on like players and stuff like that. You see like mid-season, all that kind of stuff. Do you have like a free agent like list that you can like check and be like, okay, this guy's available for us to bring on for the second half, or just kind of like being able to pick up players?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm letting Hobbs kind of deal with that stuff. I got enough stuff I got to deal with on a regular basis. But I know our roster's full right now. We can bring on some more temps. So we have 35 right now, which is full. We have availability for like 10 to 15 temps that don't count towards our overall roster. But there are some people that are kind of waiting. We left some room, I think, in the second half to kind of bring on some guys. We have a lot of full-time guys and second half guys. Some of them are gonna, unfortunately, hopefully they don't get hurt, but it happens in the sports where they got to get shut down. They're sore. We had 2 guys that we signed already that have to have Tommy John surgery. So there's stuff like that where you're gonna have people on the back burner just in case people fall off, because they're at the end of the day, people like guys are gonna fall off. You don't want them to, but it's a lot better to have a couple guys instead of 10 guys fall off, and when you're trying to make a push for playoffs or just overall winning experience. And that's the main thing, is just trying to get Kokomo back to the winning mentality. 2021 we were really good, went to the playoffs. Last year I think we were 19-48, so it's kind of like a flip.
Dang.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like, so like say, and I don't think this would happen with Coach Hobbs, but like say he brought a guy on and the dude is he just doesn't fit the vibe. Can he like cut him and then essentially bring on another dude instead of taking a temp player?
Yep. Yeah, you can do that. So there's rules and stuff where you can cut a guy. I mean, you just can't cut a guy because you don't like him, or he looks at you funny. I mean, there's got to be like a reason why you cut him. If we cut him or waive him, then anybody in the league can pick him up and pick up that contract. So and that's like another thing. It's like I didn't realize that we own their rights to them when they sign a contract. And the only way that we don't own them is if we waive them. So there's been a couple of times this season, like I reached out to I had to reach out to Kenosha to see if they would waive this guy so we could pick him up, and they did. I haven't ran into something where it's like, we're not waiving this guy, we don't want him to have you. But there could be something where you sign them fresh, their freshman year, and they're going to be good, just so you can have them on their roster, and then basically just own those rights, which is kind of weird.
So then with the contracts, like, do you sign them to money or, oh my God, yeah, sure, to money, I guess that's the English way of putting it. And like over a certain amount of years, or like what exactly does that look like?
No, it's just we have temp, first half, second half, and then full season. They pay to play in the league.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot bit cheaper than Corn Belt from what I've been told.
Yes.
Got him.
But yeah, and I'll just leave it at that.
Perfect.
So
said.
But yeah, kind of building off of that too. Just kind of like he said, do you get, if a kid comes back another season, is he still then under contract with your team? Like, so say he plays a full season? Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So if he's full season and wants to come back, then we already have that contract. I think he'll have to fill out another, the new contract of that year. But if he does not want, if he wants to go somewhere else, then he has to ask myself to be waived, or
Gotcha.
coach or the other GM has to reach out to see if they'll be waived, and then I'll waive them. I mean, it's not, if they don't want to play here, if they want to go somewhere where they're closer to home, or their best friends playing somewhere, like I'm not going to hold a kid back for that.
That is kind of cool how you can keep that almost MLB feel to it where you're almost trading different guys to different teams and organizations. That is really cool because it, especially for the guys that have been drafted, it already kind of preps them for that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
Damn.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Is it very nice, Nick?
I think so. I think there's just a lot of unseen things that happen with collegiate leagues throughout the summer. So I mean, it's fun to kind of dive into those and just see what the vibe is and see kind of how it all is run.
Well said. So just kind of my last question. I don't know if any of these other hooligans have questions. But as a GM, what's kind of the most rewarding part of your job?
I don't know. I think it's from my point of view, like personally, I think I'm originally from Kokomo, like born and raised. When they first built this stadium, I was still in college. My mom called me and told me like, hey, they're building a baseball stadium downtown. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, okay. But it's kind of like, full circle. Like, since that, like looking back, like that phone call with my mom, I don't know, 10 plus years ago. And then now I'm basically running the team that my mom called and told me about that I thought it was a joke. It's kind of like surreal. It's like full circle, but I think the most rewarding thing is from me being from Kokomo, you have a local guy that's finally at this position. In years past, it's been kind of people not from the area. I know Kokomo, I know people. There's some conversations and people that I talk to on a regular basis that, 16, 17-year-old me would laugh at for that reason. I think just overall, it's just putting together a season. You got to find a coach. You got to, the bats, the balls, the uniforms, the promotional stuff, the thinking of the themes, the sales aspect of it, the just putting it all together and then watching it, come to life. I think is like rewarding in itself. You're not going to make everybody happy. Trust me. I learned that the hard way last year. But it's just trying to like eliminate those friction points that really gets people irritated or may not like this or food pricing is crazy. Like production wise, food cost is high. I'm trying to keep like the food pricing realistic for a family of 4 to come in here and enjoy a baseball game and eat, which we plan on doing this year. So it's just trying to figure out those ways to, obviously still make money, but also still keep it reasonable for fans to come in here and get a hot dog and a burger and a couple beers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Nicholas, I have questions, but
I was gonna say I've got all mine stuff said and done, bud. I'm letting you take over because I get yelled at.
Did you just bud him?
Yes,
Those are fighting words, man.
Well, he needs to stop talking sometimes. Yeah. So I mean, I really only got 2 of them. One of them is gonna have to come back to me. But so like moving forward, obviously you have a vision for the Jackrabbits, going forward, and things of that nature. But like, could you, I guess, elaborate on that? Like where you guys see yourself in the next couple of years, what you would love to do with them?
Yeah, I think so. When we were in the prospect league, it was 17, 18, well, 16, 17, 18. Our attendance numbers were really good. I mean, we're at like, I think 17 was 44,000 in a 30 game, like 30 home games. 2018, we were just like 49,000 in 30 games. Then we made the jump to 2019. There's some things that happened that confused some people. So that may have been the reason we saw the percentage of fans drop, especially when you add 6 more games and then you announce that you're in the Northwoods League. There was 38,000. So we saw quite a bit of a drop there. And then COVID happened. We didn't play. And then 2021 was kind of like a post-COVID. I mean, we still had a little bit of lingering COVID stuff, which I think the attendance is where it was then. Last year we saw a little bit of an increase. The main thing is you got when something's new, you have that like honeymoon phase. Sort of, it's new, it's fun. Now it's past that honeymoon phase. So now how do we plan and prepare for the years to come on how to make it fun, change up themes, not doing new stuff to keep stuff interactive and getting kids and families more involved is the main focus, like moving forward, I think. Because once we figure out that, I think it'll kind of grow from there. If I could get, I mean, we were at 29,000 last year. I mean, if I could hit 35 this year, I'd be super happy, just to show somewhat of growth, because it shows that we were up high and then it went down low and then now we're kind of trending back up. I think that's the main thing.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Another question I got is like, so, and I know you don't need to make a quote unquote sales pitch here, but like for any of the guys on the roster that you have now that, you know, don't know about Kokomo or like don't know about the Northwoods League or like anything about that, like what can they expect, you know, coming into it in the coming months?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to play top level athletes from all across the United States. We have there's 25 teams now in the Northwoods League.
Wow.
Canada's the northernmost, and then Kokomo's the southernmost. So I mean, there's teams everywhere. We play a lot of divisional size. Our games are mostly Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois. But once you get in that playoff, you know, I mean, I hope we get to that point, but I also hope this doesn't happen, that we play, you know, Thunder Bay, and I'm like, hey, all 35 of you, I need your passports, and pray to God that they have them. I don't want to tell the guys, you know, go spend $250 to get a passport if they don't need it, but you know, that's a fear of mine as well. I mean, I think the caliber of playing, and they're going to get the grind of what, you know, being in minor league or MLB kind of preparing them for, as far as the games, the travel, the hotels. I mean, there's only 3 scheduled days off on our schedule. And that's not including like the 3 days for the All-Star break. So, I mean, realistically, you're playing 72 games in probably 77 days.
Yeah.
There's been times where I come to the office at like 8 a.m. They're loading up on the bus, and then they're hitting the road. They're driving a Traverse, which is 5 hours. They're at the ballpark. They eat pregame. They go do their pregame, you know, hit around, do some fielding, get back ready for a game. And then if they got a home game back here in Kokomo the next day, after that game, they eat, they get on the bus, and they get here at 3 a.m, sleep, and then they're back to the field at 2. So I mean, you get that feel of what the real world's going to be like when, and if that's your overall goal is to get drafted, then this is kind of what it's going to be like as far as the travel. I mean, probably the food might be a little bit better, but but it kind of prepares them for what's to come if they do get drafted.
For sure. Love that. This is not related to stop talking, Nick. This is not related to baseball. But what is your favorite fast food restaurant?
Ooh, fast food?
Yes. You can go local, just so you know.
Would you consider Chipotle fast food?
Yes.
Chipotle.
I'd say so.
Okay. So then here we go. If you go there, college athletes, you know, they have like the specified like dollar amount that they can spend. What's your go-to meal there? Like, lay it out for us.
Chipotle?
At Chipotle. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, I went there last night.
I
got you.
It's fresh on the mind.
Yeah, the wife was like, I'm hungry. I want Chipotle. So So my wife's super basic, really picky. So with her, she gets the burrito. We get double steak. It's got to be fresh. It's a really awkward conversation when I go in there every time. It's got to be fresh. So double steak, double cheese. That's it. Roll it up. Send it on its down its way. I get the 3 tacos, white rice, no beans, chicken. I get mild salsa, the corn, cheese, veggies, a little bit of guac, and then that Chipotle hot sauce they got there.
All right.
Okay.
But I think some of it fell out last night when I was eating, and so I had some.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's
Damn.
Tortilla chips. So I think when I go back, I think I'm gonna get a bowl loaded up and then
There you go.
do the scoops tortilla chips.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a
And
system down.
Yeah, but
He
I think
does.
but as far as local, just all aspects, I mean, the food and the ice cream is Cone Palace. Like if you're ever in Kokomo and you don't go to Cone Palace, you might, I mean, you have to go.
Yeah. So that's the place for the players to go then.
Yeah.
Fast food wise, at least.
Fast food wise, and there's a lot of local like pubs and stuff like that, but kind of Cone Palace is like a staple. Cheeseburgers, hot dogs, ice cream, slushies. I mean, they got it all.
Kind of like your own little baseball concession stand built in.
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
You
Well,
guys come up. Let me know.
All right.
Say less.
Set us up with some Cone Palace and Chipotle.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Chipotle we can get anywhere, Nick. We got to go there for Cone
Nick.
Palace.
Yeah.
Dummy.
You guys come up here. I'll have tickets for you guys, and then depending on when you're going to be here, and we'll go get Cone Palace or whatever.
I'm loving it.
Say less.
Get the whole gang together. It could be all of us, Hobbs, Sonny, the pitching guy who we don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Love it.
Have a little party. Oh.
All right. Nathan, do you have any questions for us as staff or anything like that?
I don't think so. I mean, if you got any more random questions for me, I mean, I'm an open book. I got nothing to do today.
I do have one more, actually. Do you guys have like a link to a team store at all that we can plug anywhere?
Yes, we have. If you go to our website, and we're still working on it, so we have a local company. I kind of outsourced it from the corporate office to local for if we run out of stuff, we can get it in a timely manner. We have a local guy, Gold Medal Awards, but if you just go to our website and see anything online, you can go on there and look at it. And I get an email saying what you bought, and if we have it, we'll send it that way. But I think for right now is more just pushing ticket sales, but our website.
Okay. I was gonna say because we'll link your web, like anything that you need to kind of to help. That way, I guess if you want, like you can post this on your website or whatnot. You can do. We'll send you the links for it, so you can do whatever you want with them.
For sure.
But just kind of anything that we could do to help promote the Jackrabbits, ticket sales, any of that. We would love to do.
For sure, yeah.
We'll make sure we get links on social posts and everything for you.
Yeah, I'll get those.
Nick will do that. I won't.
Yeah,
Nick will do that. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for stopping in today. It was a real pleasure. And you're welcome back anytime. Anytime you want to be back on with us and maybe give us some predictions when we're in season, talking about some of the people coming into the CWS, all that stuff.
Yeah, let me know. I know Hobbs will be here in about 2 weeks. So
already?
Damn.
Well, not here. He's gonna come. I think he's gonna come here the 3rd or 4th.
Okay.
Just to chill for a day or two, kind of go over some things, and probably shoot the shit, probably mostly than anything.
That sounds like him.
Got to get him on.
Yeah. So I'm excited for the season, but I'm more than happy to come on whenever, especially when we get closer to the season. Shoot me a text. I'll be more than happy to come on. If somebody drops out, I'll be more than happy to come on here and I mean, talk. We don't have to talk about Jackrabbits. We can talk about whatever.
Love it.
Sounds
Always
good, man.
down. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I got some questions. Okay. One.
Yes.
Uh,
First one.
yeah. 3 p.m. game, 6:30 game. Who you guys got? Football.
Oh shit!
Oh,
We're going
for
this far
football.
into it. Oh man.
Dear
yes,
God.
baby.
I mean,
Let's go Bengals.
the 49ers
Lick me.
and the Bills. Both
It's
those are
gonna
going to
be
win
the
today.
you
right.
hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
You never bet on Joe Shiesty.
Okay.
Bengals, Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys, but
Why the Cowboys, dude?
I got
because
Bills
Brock
and Niners,
Purdy's
man.
young.
No, Brock Purdy
Cowboys
is him.
defense is elite.
Brock
49ers
Purdy is
defense.
schlawing
Brock
it.
Purdy's going to be completing passes to the defense. That's what's going to happen.
And so
No.
will Dak Prescott. What the hell you mean?
That's true. That's true.
Come on.
That's very true.
It's going to be a very defensive game.
Yeah, I've got Buffalo and San Francisco.
All right.
I've been high on Buffalo all year, so
Yeah. What about you got your Super Bowl? My Super Bowl is Bills Niners, right?
Bills,
All right.
Niners.
Oh.
Yeah, I got Bills Niners Super Bowl, and I don't care who wins, but it's like you got Purdy just came out of nowhere,
Mhm.
leading the Niners. You got to give him. I'd like to see him win it, Mr. Irrelevant, and a kind of Cinderella story, if you want to say it. And then you got the Bills. I mean, how do you root against them? For Damar.
True.
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Storybook
Well,
either way. Love it.
I've been riding the Four Falls of Buffalo train. I mean, that's one of my favorite
what?
ESPN. The Four Falls of Buffalo. They lost 4 straight Super Bowls in 4 years back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And that was with Joe Kelly. And I've been sitting here the whole entire year. And I mean, their offense has been shit in the bed the last 2 weeks. So I've been scared.
Which is why they're going to lose.
But
they're
back
playing with
to
a
the
big
Bengals.
high, man.
Yeah,
Listen,
back to the
we don't
Bengals.
need to
They didn't look good either last week.
We don't have an
Yeah.
offensive line, okay? I realize.
You never have.
You never count out Joe Shiesty. He's rolling up with his Cartier shades, and he's going to drop dimes. It is what it is.
You got to throw the shades in.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You think like I was bouncing some ideas yesterday with assistant GM. He's a huge Jags fan, so he came over and watched that game. I was like, dude, do you think Hobbs would dress up like Joe Shiesty as like a TikTok
Dude,
gotta make it happen.
we have to make that happen. That's
gotta make
spoken
it
into
happen.
existence now. That's gonna happen.
He would do it. I think he would. It might take some convincing. Sonny, on the other hand, will not. Sonny will not.
Sonny will.
He can just come up in his sweats or whatever,
That's what he'll do. Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
gotta
Hobbs,
get
though.
Hobbs shiced up.
Hobbs, we gotta get him the sunglasses for sure.
Yeah.
You might be
At
able to,
least.
I think you can do it.
I think it'd be fun, like an opening day, like TikTok, like a rival type thing. Just,
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to do it and have him
Get
in
him
the
a
coach's
fat
box.
cigar. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. That'd be awesome.
He'll do the
Stogied
cigar
up,
part.
shiced. You just see him down at the third base coaching box, just whipping a stogie.
Smoking a
Oh
heater.
yeah.
all shaded up and everything. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Dude, Hobbs him and Sonny, their chemistry is hilarious.
Yeah, it's even better in person. You'll love it. I think the team will love it too.
Yeah, that was the first time I met Hobbs. He flew in, and then Sonny and him drove down here, and that was like my first time meeting them in person, and it was just comedy the whole time.
Yeah, so it's, and you'll see this very quick, but they're very unique. Like they're outside of baseball before the game, shooting shit, jacking around. As soon as it's play ball, it is they are two very different individuals.
Oh, I bet. I'm excited.
But yeah, I think you guys will do big things. Most definitely. I'm gonna catch some games on ESPN Plus.
Do it,
Yeah, that'll have to definitely be a thing.
for sure. But the way I met Hobbs was it was crazy. It was weird.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Care to dive into the whole shebang there?
He's getting there.
Yeah,
I'm making sure he does.
yeah, it was probably October. like end of October or no, probably end of August, right? And I get this like phone call like 9 in the morning, just random, and I'm not going to mention his name, but it was a gentleman called that had ties to like Augie, the old
Augie Garrido.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So
Nick just got a half chopper.
Yeah. So like so me and this guy were talking for probably 4 hours, just about random stuff, and he knew Hobbs, and said that he needed a shot, and he wanted him to apply for it. Is really what he wanted to. I'm like, look, I got it open. Just tell him to go to this website, fill it out. I'd love to talk to him or whatever. And I mean, Hobbs got a really impressive resume. And so I mean, that's how it basically came about. Is this random guy that knew Hobbs that called me randomly, had no idea we were in Indiana. And he knew that Hobbs went to IU, had some ties here in Indiana, and like one thing led to another. Then me and Hobbs were on a Zoom call, and obviously the rest is history. But it was the way we got connected was just super weird.
Yeah, I don't even know how he came about in the Corn League. Like, I have no idea how he got to that specific like place.
Yeah.
One, because he's based out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
And normally when you say Nebraska, they go, what?
Yeah.
So I don't know how he got there. I'm glad he showed up. I'm glad he made it there, because obviously, I got to meet him, but he's such a very interesting guy, with tons of baseball knowledge, as I'm sure you've even been able to witness and kind of talk about. He's got ties all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised he didn't have a shot like this sooner, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
And your city, honestly.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, again, thank you for spending your day off with us. And again, just kind of, I guess, plug in our own kind of thing. Again, you can check out the Kokomo Jackrabbits coming this upcoming season. Make sure you tune into that. Even if you got ESPN Plus, definitely check it out. As far as us, you can find us on Twitter and TikTok at Homaha Pod. All that kind of fun stuff, and we'll get a link also to kind of check out the Jackrabbit store, look at ticket sales, all that kind of stuff. So again, thank you so much for stopping by.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Nathan.